long term. Some people can't do that. Phone booth, can't do it. Lock, most of you never saw it. Tom Hardy, fuck you. Best actor ever. See it in Lock. But I get it. It is. I was just actually talking to someone who loves movies the other day, and they were like, you know what, man? You know what I'm getting tired of is slow burns. And I was like, what? You're getting tired? You call yourself a cinephile, but you're getting tired of slow burns? Doesn't make any goddamn sense. You're not a cinephile then. And I'm telling you, it's just the dopamine from checking your phone and fucking ba-da-da-da. I'm guilty. I'm not. I'm just saying, for the betterment of everyone, I have to. We have to correct this because it is damaging our brains. The goddamn phone. It really is. Like how and you see it in little things like this. You're like, what is he rambling on about? No, seriously. If you are a cinephile, I love movies. I fucking love movies. And you're like, oh, I'm getting kind of tired of slow burns. It's not. It has nothing to do with the movie. Has to do with your brain is being rewired. And if you want to be rewired, have at it. Who am I? I'm starting to learn that too. For a while there, I was just like, oh my God, you don't see that it's rewiring your brain. We're all doomed. And that's not, it's not, it's just, it's a different choice. I don't know. I can't, I just hate it. It's like fucking basketball. If I can't, not basketball, it's like bowling. I hate it because I can't do it. So it's kind of like that. But also, I do think that it makes these good films like Oxygen a little bit more disposable, as mentioned, aforementioned on this show before. It does. Like, you just kind of are like, oh, yep, I watched it, on to the next one. And I'm also guilty. I'm trying to correct that. I'm trying to put the phone down more. And if I am going to be a true cinephile, then I still do watch more than you do, but if I'm going to be a true cinephile, I got to be paying attention, Shit, there's shows out there. I love those boys at the Guts podcast. They actually have like a put your phone down, if it makes you put your phone down because it's keeping your attention, it's a good thing, and they like rate that. I'm guilty sometimes myself. Not all the time, but like I do catch myself sometimes where I'm just like, I think like minute 15 into Minari, and I had heard like 4 lines spoken. I was like, Jesus. That's not even true. I don't even think there was 4. There was more. There was way more than 4 lines spoken. But it was such a quiet movie that I was like, checking the phone, and I was like, don't do that. Don't do that. This movie's up for a Academy Award. What are you doing? The Academy Awards are stupid, bro. All right, whatever. You do you. Why do you get to tell? I'm suggesting that you watch this movie. I'm not saying that you should, but I would say it's if I'm taking the time. If I'm taking the time, you should too. That's just a suggestion. Look for something a little different. And I thought Oxygen fit that mold, foreign film, because there was a little bit there where I was almost doing exclusively foreign films. I'm not going to look at my catalog because I don't do that shit, but like if I did, I'm almost positive that like, I don't know, the last 10, not a whole lot have been American. I should check myself before I wreck myself. No, you're not going to look that up. You're not looking it up. Fuck that. Anyway, a lot heavy on the foreign films. But it was nice to do a French one. It was nice to see Alexandre Aja back in action. I like it when he writes, too. Like, he wrote Maniac, and what the fuck else did he write? Oh, did you guys see P2? That's also not as heavy claustrophobic horror in Oxygen sense, but this lady gets caught in a parking garage with a maniac, but we stay in the parking garage for like 70% of the movie, 80% of the movie. P2. Alexandre Aja wrote that. I like that one. Or maybe because it was the lead was hot, and I'm a toxic white male, and I'm objectifying her. Maybe that was it. I don't think so, though. I remember, if memory serves, I had a good time with that one. And now most people actually love P2 more than Mears. We're talking about Aja again. I think I like Mears more with Kiefer Sutherland, Jack Bauer, than I do P2. I don't know why I liked Mears so much. Maybe because every time I look in mine, I hate myself. And I'm disturbed by what I see, and we just saw a movie of it featuring Kiefer. Only it was a little more demonic. You know that Robin Kudir? I'm not even trying to be disrespectful, so if you ever listen to this, I'm not Robin, but that's why you go by Rob. He goes by Rob. French pop rock music singer, songwriter, producer, and film composer. So a young woman wakes up in this pod, right? Liz Hansen, Dr. Liz Hansen. What could I tell you a little bit about the lady in space without ruining the epic ending? Because I said cryopod, I feel like I also got to stop shopping out of my own pocket. Because a lot of you are right now are like, you've said nothing. You just bumbled and stumbled. What's the counter at? 20 minutes. You bumbled. You told us nothing. You're a fucking idiot. Oh, that is definitely true. But I don't. We wake up in a cryogenic pod, man. All right. I've told you that we stay in one locale, and some people don't like that, right? All right. Well, I can't. I feel that if even telling you bits of the tension is a disrespect to you. I just have to hope that my passion oozes out into your speakers. And you are like, God damn it, Sean. All right, I'll watch it. Fuck. You should. And, if you're into the claustrophobic horror thing, I don't know why people aren't into horror films anymore, man. Some of you younger cats. I'm not shitting on you. Fucking relax. Fucking 22-year-old, calm down. You think I give a fuck what you do? I mean, you should watch some films from time to time. But I'm just kind of surprised at the horror films. Like, I thought that those were universal. Like, I thought that, dude, it's even called Universal Monsters. No, anyway. I thought that that's like when we bond. We fucking bond at a horror film. Like, if we're talking the theater-going experience, in my day, okay? In my day, the horror films where you're like, it got me. It got me. You look at your friend, because there was a jump scare. Oh, shit. And the younger cats, they're like, no way. I don't buy that. I don't want to do any of that. I don't. And it's like split down the middle. Like, oh, it's stupid, like completely stupid to me. And then just, I don't want to feel that anxiety in my life. I just, like, what? You have to feel the fear. Don't you know? You have to brave strange waters from time to time. It's good for your heart. I promise you. But you gotta. Again, it's like bowling. Because I can't do it or don't understand it, I'm just perplexed by it. And I'm trying to stop those toxic white male traits. But I do think there's nuances to these absolutes, as mentioned way earlier. There's nuances to this shit. Like, I'm just saying you should experience films the way that they are meant to be experienced. Like, again, this is Netflix, but you need to be watching this with your lights off. Okay? With the volume fucking up. You need to have a surround sound system, not a goddamn sound bar. Okay? It's not surround sound. The sound bar is not surround sound. I repeat. The sound bar is not surround sound. But it has omnidirectional. Shut up. That is not. You're fooling yourself. You've tricked your brain into things. It doesn't matter. Anyway, with the lights off, okay? Like, I think this movie, I would have liked it way more if I saw it in the theater. Way more. But, you know what? I guess I should have checked to see if this was coming out in the theater. I just automatically assumed that if the premiere was Netflix, then, because what just came out, it doesn't matter. But turn the lights off. Pump that volume up. That's why. That's why we do this show here. And that's what I appreciate about Hughes. Mm-hmm. I can't give any way of the subtle. I wish I saw. Man, now I'm thinking how much more fun would I have had at the theater? It would have been way better. Because you have to where you are one locale, you got to get creative with everything about the film. The score matters just as much as the sound matters. The sound, whether you want to believe it or not, is also adding to the claustrophobia. But it's my ear. Yeah, I know. But it's adding. The visuals got to be spot on. Like, so, do you remember when I did that interview with the cinematographer, old Michael C. Potter? Great guy, by the way. Even after the fact. Great dude. Turns out he actually used to go see films where I did a premiere of a film that he later worked on. That's actually super fucking meta, but I think I'm older than him, so that's just, I'm slow in life. But I would think he's a cinematographer, great guy, cinematographer though. You got to get creative as a cinematographer on Oxygen, or maybe you don't. I didn't get a chance to talk with him prior to this show. I should have asked him, but I'm an idiot, because he was like, "Hey man, we have to do the show again." I was like, "I agree. I had a blast." And this would have been a great show, or a terrible show to have him on, depending on what his take is on it, if he sits down and watches it. If he does, since I mentioned it to him, if he does, I'd be interested. If he was like, "Oh yeah, dude, I mean, you got to sell this one location for fucking a heavy 1 hour and 22 minutes, probably more, out of an hour and 40 minutes, or an hour and 38 minus the credits or whatever, because you got to count that. If it was an hour and 37, we'll say, I would say a good 122. You are seeing the same thing, but in a creative way, because she's in a cryopod, dude. So I would love to ask him, was this hard, or would you take it as a challenge to be cooler? If you're like, "Hey man, there's only so much you can fucking do with this particular location." Because if you say because it's not like Phone Booth, we kind of were in, like, yes, we were in Phone Booth. If you guys haven't seen Phone Booth, I think producers stepped in and kind of made it something that they could sell, but and it's not a bad movie, but it's got Colin Farrell, Kiefer Sutherland, a host of other people. Anyway, but he's in a phone booth, basically. His life's on the line in the phone booth, and we're kind of in the area. And Buried, we're almost exclusively in that goddamn box. Well put together. I forget who directed that one, but that was well put together. And this one too. Do you got to get creative, or is like, nope, this is the editor's got to get creative. He's got to be able to chop it up, and not only with Christy LeBlanc's script, like, that's also got to be popping. No, for a first-time writer, I'm blown away that she was able to tell a thriller like this, because that's not as easy to do as you think. Like, I had mentioned earlier, Rotten Tomatoes said, she has to uncover memories to get her out of this nightmare. Well, I suppose you could say lamenting on a life past is easy to write. I don't think so, because where you utilize it is everything. I mean, or maybe I'm wrong, but I think let's say there are some groups out there that say flashbacks, if you're a writer, flashbacks are lazy writing. I just couldn't. I'm not an accomplished writer, but as a wannabe writer, I just couldn't not write or novelist, just a screenplay writer. I couldn't do a novel, just so we're clear. I could never. I'm not that talented. I'm moderately talented at best. I can barely speak, let alone write. Kidding me? But they say that if you do I don't even know who they is anymore. And you know what? Fuck they. Anyway, flashbacks are lazy writing. And I just, from the jump when I've heard that, I was like, well, no. Like, sometimes you gotta have that. If the story calls for it, you gotta have that. And I'm not saying, like, fucking you throw it in at the end. Oh, the killer was the long brother of Lost Past, and we're just now telling you about this character now. I'm not saying that. Twist. No, that's not a twist. That would be the epitome of lazy writing. I would agree with whoever said that flashbacks was lazy writing, if that's where you utilize it. But I think sometimes it's very necessary in telling a story, and much in this one, it was. It all made sense. Even some of the little twists and turns while we're up there in space, even though we're twisting and turning all the time, but even some of the subtle twists and turns, because there's only so much you can do, right? And once the